Recently, a study was released by the National Assessment for Educational Progress, which said that literacy skills among school-age students are at a 20-year low. Another study found that elementary-age students are missing important reading benchmarks. The New York Times has called this a literacy crisis. Among all demographics, we know that children and families are struggling with the negative effects of pandemic learning loss. But particularly among Black and Hispanic students, students with learning differences, and those with limited financial support are falling the furthest behind. When students are behind in school, it's increasingly difficult for them to catch up, and it can have generational consequences. We know that public libraries level the playing field when it comes to access to information and opportunity. Frederick County Public Libraries has an important role to play in reversing the negative effects of pandemic learning loss.
I think one of the reasons I moved to Frederick actually was because of the library. When I interviewed for my job, they gave me a tour of the library and I fell in love with it. My children have been coming to the library since Babies and Books. And so we've utilized early literacy programs as well as many of the other programs that take place.
And it's fun, you know, it's like an indoor playground for literacy.
So for our family, one of the services that we utilize most often is story time, and oftentimes on weekends there are family events.
We were able to also just take part in some of the online programming that was offered and even check out books physically and do the pickup. So it was an opportunity to give us just more chances to read.
The pandemic really did a number on everyone. We're finding that, you know, kids are not up to the standards that maybe they were before the pandemic. Reading and math seem to be the heaviest losses that we've had so far, as well as social emotional learning. That is certainly being addressed in the schools, but we do all we can to support that here at the library.
And so one of the things that we're really beginning to see is kids are behind socially because they haven't been exposed as much. Their parents are also very strained because they're working from home while trying to take care of young kids, which is impossible, as those with young kids know.
A lot of them coming right out of the Frederick County public school system. We're having a lot of trouble, still having a lot of trouble catching up, staying focused, being on time, just those little soft skills that they probably would have gotten had they been at school. But I think the pandemic really played a role in where they are and how far they are behind right now.
So, you know, some of the behaviors that we set in story time, when we're counting along with kids, when we're, you know, physically showing them the words, even just showing them a book, it's still getting them encouraged to continue that sort of discovery and learning.
One of the things that is really critical for early childhood is learning through play. And the libraries in Frederick County do a great job of building integrated play spaces surrounded by books so kids have access to them. And so families who maybe don't have funding to enroll their kid in extracurricular activities have the ability to come in, have their children play, and they're surrounded by books and they have access to free resources for their family.
I think what people should know when they come to the library is that the space here you know, is really intentional, that a lot of what we do is well researched. We're constantly professionally developing, exchanging trainings with one another, talking to other branches, talking to other library systems, even across the country and across, you know, the world, to really learn what is most current in engaging children and families.
We're kicking off a fundraising campaign to raise $100,000 to support the children and families in our community, and we need your help. With your support, we plan to build and expand our innovative early literacy play and learning spaces in our libraries. These spaces are designed specifically for public libraries and carefully curated to support early literacy skill development among our youngest library customers and reluctant readers. Will you support your library today by giving the most generous gift you can?